Hi folks, Puffin here with your Antifa News Briefa for March 10th, 2022. Putin is losing all his support, or basically Putin's lies are being shown for what they are, lies, as he keeps bombing civilians and killing Ukrainian civilians by bombing civilian targets, hospitals and things, and even bombing the evacuation routes or shelling the evacuation routes, but also just killing lots of Russian boys there, killing lots of Russian sons in Ukraine, 6,000 or 10,000 or 15,000. I don't even know how many, but lots. And he needs to be stopped. The Russian people will stop him, or maybe the Russian establishment will stop him, as these sanctions are crippling their economy, destroying their economy, really. But Putin has already destroyed 10% of his military hardware. He's already gotten a percentage of his soldiers killed. Like, he's not stopping on his own. He'll probably kill a lot more people if it's left up to him, which is why it shouldn't be. So thankfully, he's losing support on all sides. Previously, his only international support was from China and maybe some other countries who are aligned with China. For that reason, I never say anything against China if I can help it. I resist anything about spreading any rumors about China that I don't know are true, because I know that we have a racist system that says anti-Chinese things and probably makes things up. We've made things up before, like weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. So I don't trust anti-Chinese things from anti-Chinese people. But when I hear from China themselves things that are ultimately anti-Chinese because they're anti-humanity, because they're pro-Putin, well, I can't tolerate that. So I have to speculate, why is China letting Putin do this? One reason I speculated upon is maybe they're letting Putin destroy Russia so they can split it between Ukraine and Turkey and China and whoever else, because it's not going to exist as a country if Putin remains in charge. China should know that, though. I mean, they're pretty smart. I saw Joe, what's his name, Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe, today. He was really good. He had a really good point about how Putin had already turned NATO against, using Trump. Putin had driven wedges in NATO and USA and stuff like that, and was successful in trolling the West, holding us back for sure, like holding us back from going green and all this other stuff. Putin was responsible for Brexit. Putin was responsible for that. So he did a good job of doing evil things. Putin had already done that, and China is on top now and would like to be on top of a stable world. This is the point that Joe Scarborough was making. And he made it really well, that Xi can't really want Putin doing this. Now, Xi is the person who can stop Putin. China can just tell Putin to stop, and he's got to stop. Because if they join the rest of the world in confronting Putin, but see, that would have the same, he didn't have to kill anybody else for them to do that, his regime to collapse, and then potentially you still get Siberia if you want it, or whatever. But I don't think that's necessarily the plan. I think I can't figure out what the plan is for allowing a potential nuclear threat to strike again, other than making Putin look so bad that his own generals overthrow him. We, of course, want the Russian people to overthrow him, and thank you so much. Blessings and power and peace and safety to all the brave Russian people protesting against the war, just as blessings to all the Ukrainian people resisting in their various ways and fleeing and everything they can do. But, we couldn't stop the Iraq War. Most of us in America were against Bush in the Iraq War. We weren't about to overthrow the government for it. But the military might overthrow Putin. There might be a coup there. When I say he's losing support on all sides, even though China has supported him, they're distancing their support. They're starting to, unfortunately, what really disappoints me about China is they're spreading the same lies, that it's NATO's fault, that spreading Putin's lies. And you just don't want to be part of that, because they're all being shown to be lies. So I really want to save China by having them distance themselves from Putin. And I think they're starting to, but that needs to increase. That distance needs to increase to maximum. Everybody needs to distance themselves from Putin. Russia, the Russian oligarchs, the Russian government. You can isolate Putin, get him to kill himself or whatever, or whatever you have to do, but don't let him push the button. Just like if Trump had tried to push the button in America, better people would have taken over at that point. They had every reason to do it anyway, but he was kind of always flirting with that line. So if Putin's doing the same thing, but he's killing people constantly, because Trump was killing people too, with lies about the Trump virus and everything else he was doing, increasing police brutality, everything else he was doing. Trump was killing people too, but this is vicious, Nazi attacks. And just like every other Nazi, they blame the other side. They're like, you're the Nazis. Not true. And you can pretty much just distrust or know that the opposite is true of anything you ever hear from a Trump Putineer. So there's your little decoder. If a Trump Putineer says it, if it's something that correlates with anything good about Putin, you know it's evil and wrong. He's losing the support of the soldiers. They're defecting. The Russian people are protesting. I think 15,000 have been, or 15,000 have been arrested so far. You're going to be filling the Russian jails, but also fighting back against the police, I've seen in some videos. You're going to have a revolution on your hands, Putin, if you don't quit, and you're definitely having an insurrection on your hands if you actually succeed in anything in Ukraine. It's very disappointing to me to hear all these analysts and media people seeming to be kind of giving a little bit of the Putin tea, because they're all saying we have to let Putin take over Ukraine so that he won't, and let him relax for a little bit so he won't and die before he nukes anybody. No, we don't have to do that. There's so many alternative plans than that. So let's enact some of those. Pillow Revolution is the one I've got. It's a worldwide nonviolent revolution for everybody, because we all need to overthrow an evil regime that's oppressing all of us. Yes, some of us might have better governments than others, and you just need to elect somebody better. But where that can't be done, where you have a tyrant, there's other ways to do it too, and we can do it from bed. We can help shut down these evil systems just by not participating and by letting each other know what's going on, which is the key here against Putin. He's relying on lies the whole way around, and so just spreading the truth is what defeats him. So as Russian soldiers defect, as their hardware gets taken by the Ukrainian army to be turned against Putin or destroyed, those are all advertisements for weapons, or advertisements for this is why you need nuclear weapons, and that's bad. But people are doing this to oppose an evil invasion, and so of course everyone roots for them. Everyone roots for the underdog. If they had overwhelming power, they might not be an underdog, but there really isn't a good side of war. The best side of war is retreat, go back home, call your soldiers home. You could be a hero, Putin, if you could admit you were wrong and say, but it's not going to happen. Somebody else is going to need to be the hero of Russia for Russia, and replace Putin as your big chance there. So thanks for watching and sharing. Glory to Ukraine and to all the world, because we're all in this against Putin. Russia, you're in this with us against Putin. And China, get in this with us against Putin. Thanks for watching. See you soon.